Hello and welcome back to the Milan save on Football Manager 2023. Now, since the last episode where we had the very disappointing run of matches against Liverpool and got knocked out of the Champions League, we've played several league games and some cup games as well. We'll bring all the results of them to you in a little bit. Also in today's episode, we are possibly going to complete a domestic double. So we'll look forward to that. But before we get into any of the results or anything like that, the first thing to talk about is the unhappiness of quite a lot of our key players following that result against Liverpool. So Theo Hernandez is the one that you can see here where it says he's unhappy about failing to reach the latter stages of the Champions League. There was a handful of other key players, I think Benessa, Pierre Kalulu off the top of my head, all involved in this. I've promised that we will reach the latter stages next season. So hopefully we do that. Otherwise we're going to have a mutiny on our hands and we could be in some trouble. So our first game following the Liverpool match last episode was at home to Empoli and we won 2-1. Lazetic getting a brace, which meant that we stayed within 1 point of Juve at the top of the table. Could have been even better with Rafa Leao having a goal disallowed when we were 2-0 up. But thankfully, the two Lazetic goals were all we needed to get the win. Next, we had the first leg of the Coppa Italia semi-final against Fiorentina and we did some heavy rotation for this one. I think it was just Manuel Zanoli and Rafa Leao who stayed in the side from the league game for this game, but it didn't matter as we won 2-0. Vitor Roque, playing as a striker for the first time, got on the score sheet, as did Thiago Gouveia. We then had Fiorentina again. This time it was in the league, away from home, and we came out 2-1 winners. Lazetic giving us an early lead, Castrovilli equalising for them, and then Vignato coming off the bench to score very late on to get us our 2-1 win. And Juve dropped points in this game week. They lost 2-1 to Inter, which meant that we leapfrogged them and returned to the top of the Serie A table. Next, we had a league game against Torino where Theo Hernandez and Datro Fofana were both suspended. Moussa Dembele made his return to the starting lineup for the first time in 9 games after recovering from his injury. We went a goal down early on thanks to Miranchuk for Torino, but Benessa equalised just about 7 minutes later. And then Luca Netz with a goal that I want to show you. It's his first goal for the club. So here we go. Gouveia, his cross was blocked. Linetti tries to clear it. It's intercepted by Luca Netz. He runs forward with a little bit and then he smashes it past the keeper. And what a way to get off the mark for Milan. Juve made it 2 defeats in a row in this game week, losing 1-0 to Roma, meaning we went 5 points clear at the top of the table. Now we headed into this away game against Verona knowing that if we won, we would go 7 points clear at the top of the table as Juve had only managed to draw with Genoa. We rested Tomori, Benessa and Leao for this one, but despite the fact that Verona were down to 10 men for a good portion of the game, an early Djuric goal was the only goal of the game and consigned us to a 1-0 defeat. Meaning that we stay 4 points clear of Juve at the top of the league. So we've actually lost a point of our lead, but still at the top. And that defeat also ended our 14-game home unbeaten run. Next up was an away game at Benessa, a team who were sitting in bottom of the Serie A table. A team that we only managed to 0-0 draw with earlier in the season. But things got off to the best of starts as Charles de Ketelaere scored in the 5th minute. And that was his first goal in 14 games, which is a long drought for Charles. And Benessa had a couple of smashing goals as well in this one. I might as well show you them. So this first one, we've got Rafa Leao running down the left wing. Comes back inside. Plays the ball across. Headed it down by Lazetic and then Benessa with a touch to get the ball out of his feet and then smashes it past the goalkeeper for his first of the game. And then for his second, he picks up the ball here on the left wing. You're wondering what he's going to do with it. He decides to run with it. Beats a handful of defenders and then smashes it past the goalkeeper to get his brace. Leao and Lazetic were the other goal scorers in this game. Lazetic grabbing his 20th goal of the season, so he's come into some great form this year. But unfortunately, Juve beat Empoli 2-0 in this game week, so we stay top, but we're still just 4 points clear. We did also get an injury to a player in this game. Datro Fofana pulled his hamstring, meaning he was going to be out for 3 weeks. Next up was the second leg of the Coppa Italia semi-final, and we did rest a few players for this game. Tomori, Theo, Benessa, Wrench, de Ketelaere and Leao were all rested as we had a 2-0 lead from the first leg. Rooney Bargi gave us the lead after 16 minutes with his first goal for the club. And despite a Castrovilli equaliser on the 71st minute, Fiorentina couldn't do anything to stop us from advancing to the Coppa Italia final. This will be the second consecutive year that we've been at the final of the Coppa Italia after we lost 6-3 last year to Juve. And we'll be playing against rivals Inter in the final after they came back from a 2-0 first leg defeat to win 3-2 on aggregate over Atalanta. Our next match was at home to Udinese and we beat them 2-0. Vignato getting his first goal in 4 games. Rafa Leao also on the score sheet. Juve beat Monza 1-0 in their match in this game week to keep the gap at 4 points with us at the top of Serie A. We headed into this game against Lecce at home knowing that if we won we could go 6 points clear at the top after Juve were held by Udinese. We'd rest some players for this game, however. Tomori, Theo, Benessa, Ketelea and Leao were all rested for this match. Vignato gave us the lead on the 22nd minute, and then Rooney Bargi with a sweetly struck free kick on the 36th minute made it 2, and Gouveia got his first goal in 6 games to round out the 3-0 victory, meaning we did in fact go 6 points clear at the top of Serie A. And our final game off camera was away from home at Monza. Lazetic getting the one and only goal in this game for us. A 1-0 victory over Monza. And we stay 6 points clear at the top of the league as Juve beat already relegated Benevento by 2-1 in this game week. So now you're all caught up on what happened. This is the league table as it currently stands. We are top of the table, 5 points clear of Juve. We have the game in hand over Juve as well. If we win our next match, we will win Serie A for the 2nd year in a row. But our next match is against Roma, who have won their last 5 games in a row and are pushing for a Europa League spot. They can't reach the Champions League places anymore. There's not enough points up for grabs for that, but they can get above Inter in 5th if they do well enough, but hopefully they don't. And the reason that we can win the league today is because Juve have dropped points again. They drew 1-1 with Atalanta away from home. So here we have our lineup for this game against Roma. We've got Mike Mignon in goal, Singo at right back, Viti alongside Tomori in central defence. Kalulu is out injured. He's got a pectoral strain. He's going to be out for a few more days. At left back, we've got Luca Netz. You'll notice there's a few players that wouldn't normally get in the starting lineup. Singo and Netz are 2 of those players. We're resting Zanoli and Theo for the cup game, the cup final, which is the very next game after this one, which of course we'll be bringing you in this episode. So in defensive midfield, we've got Benessa alongside Divine Wrench. At right wing, Rooney Bargi is in for Datro Fofana, who is still sort of recovering from his injury. Charles de Ketelea at attacking centre midfield with Rafa Leao at left wing, and then Marco Lazetic, the man who's sort of cemented his place as first choice striker this season, up front on his lonesome. Moussa Dembele on the bench. He's actually occasionally turned into our 3rd choice striker, probably due to the injury that he's had. We have Vitor Roque, of course, one of our newer signings, who has done all right when he's come in as a striker. So a free kick very early on. Benessa plays it short to Rafa Leao on the right hand side now, the left winger. Plays that back to Benessa. Chance for him to get a ball into the box possibly. That's a big first touch, but he gets past the defender. Benessa on his own and it's fired over the bar. I thought we were going to see another solo majestic goal from Ismail Benessa there, but it wasn't to be. It's Luca Netz down this left-hand side now. Can he create something? Ball into the box. Mancini, is he going to get dispossessed? He's not. Plays that back to Orban, and now Odysseus with... Isn't that a Greek god? The Greek god with the clearance from Roma there. Viti collects it at the back though. Now Singo advancing forward down this right-hand side. Can he create something? Singo still on the ball. He's just ran the entire length of the field pretty much. Is he going to get a ball in? He is. Ketelea is there and it's saved by the Greek god in goal. Luca Netz advancing past the halfway line. Great through ball towards Lazetic. That's intercepted well though by the Roma defender. Netz nips in though and dispossesses Zaniolo forward to Leao. Is he fouled in the box? Zeki Celik has possibly given away a penalty. The referee has pointed to the spot. It's going to be checked by VAR. Was Rafa Leao fouled? Have we got a chance to get a goal in front and almost seal our 2nd league title in a row? The penalty is given, so all that's left is for one of our players to step up. And that man to step up is Charles de Ketelea. And he sends the keeper the wrong way. It's 1-0 after 6.5 minutes at the San Siro. His 15th goal of the season. A brilliant start. Corner kick. And the chances keep on coming for us. Luca Netz with the ball in. I thought Odysseus was going to claim it. He doesn't. He punches it out instead. Fabio Vieira dispossesses de Ketelea, but the ball's fallen to Fikayo Tomori, who plays that to Netz, the original corner taker. Another chance to get a ball in. It's a bit too deep. Headed away by Zaluski. But Benessa keeps the ball flowing forward for us. And he's going to get the ball again here. Ishmael Benessa plays it across to Divine Wrench. Lovely ball from him to Rooney Bargi. Is this going to be another penalty? Trossard has gone diving in. I think it's another penalty. The referee is going to consult VAR once again, but Leandro Trossard, you can tell why he's not a defender with that sort of challenge. Rooney Bargi completely just scissored down in the box there, and the penalty has been given. It's probably going to be Charles de Ketelaere with another opportunity to score from the spot in the opening 12 minutes of the game. Charles de Ketelaere, is he going to go the same way or is he going to go the opposite way? He goes the opposite way and it's saved by Odysseus, the Greek god. Trossard with the ball in an advanced position for Roma. Great challenge from Singo though, and now we can get forward with it. Benessa looks for Leao in the centre of the field. Rafa Leao now forward to Charles de Ketelaere. Out wide to Rooney Bargi. He switches it to the middle to Leao, and now Nets in tons of space to run into, which is what he's doing. Luka Nets with the ball into the box, across to Lazetic, and it's to Marco Lazetic with his 20th goal of the season. I'm sure he's already scored that. Leao and Lazetic were the other goal scorers in this game. Lazetic grabbing his 20th goal of the season, so he's come into some great form this year. I think that might be broken. I'm sure Marco Lazetic had already scored his 20th goal of the season. Anyway, it was Nets into the box, lovely ball across, and then Lazetic with the outside of the foot to smash that past the Greek god in goal. No, I must be mistaken. That he scored 19 goals this season. I don't know where I got the 20 goals of the season, but he's got his 20th goal of the season now, so that's all that really matters. Corner kick, it's Luka Nets to take it. Whip to the back post towards Lazetic, who heads that just wide. Now we are going to keep an eye on the players because we do obviously have one eye on the cup final, which is coming up, and this game looks, touch wood, pretty much sealed for us. Benessa trying to switch it to Lazetic. It's headed away, but de Ketelaere collects it. He plays a ball across to Rooney Bargi. First time, and it's just wide from Rooney Bargi from a very narrow angle. I wouldn't have expected him to score there, but he did well to get the shot off. Singo with a throw-in to Wrench. Back to Singo. Tries to take a touch to get the ball out of his feet. Plays it to de Ketelaere instead. Now de Ketelaere with a chance to shoot from the edge of the box. Yes, Charles de Ketelaere, and it's just fired over the bar. So with 73 minutes gone, we're going to make some changes. We're going to take off some of the more key players that we have who are looking a bit more tired out there. So Rafa Leao is going to come off. We're going to bring on Thiago Gouveia. Charles de Ketelaere is going to come off as Sami Vignato at attacking centre midfield. Benessa will make way for Pobega. Tomori's going to make way for Mattia Gabbia, and Lazetic will come off and Dembele can get some minutes. So all 5 subs can be made all at once here. Hopefully we don't have a collapse. It looks like we might have the opposite of a collapse. We've got another corner kick. Luka Nets, who's been so involved in this game. I think every single highlight has involved him in some way. Ball in towards Viti. Dembele's at the back post and Moussa Dembele with the goal. Luka Nets has been given the assist, but I'm pretty sure it was Mattia Viti that flicked that on at the near post. It's his 20th goal of the season anyway, Dembele. And that's pretty good for a man who's missed at least 9 games because of injury. It was definitely flicked on at the near post from Viti. Dembele there at the back post. The ball was probably going to hit the post from Viti's header, so you can't have any complaints that Dembele stole that from him. Vignato has pounced on the defender, dawdling on the ball, and Vignato with a chance here. Is he going to go alone or is he going to play it across? He plays it across to Dembele for his second of the game, and Moussa Dembele gets his 23rd goal of the season. That I'm pretty sure the commentary last time said that he got his 20th in the last goal. The game's lying to me. 23rd goal of the season for Moussa Dembele, 4th goal of the day for us, and Roma, they're looking like they're Conference League bound, I would say. Vignato, I thought he was going to try and go on his loan, but he didn't. He played it across. Very unselfish of him in Dembele with a great finish to make it 4-0. Dembele finds Rooney Bargi on the right-hand side. Can he find a ball into the box? There's plenty of AC Milan men getting in there, but he's dispossessed instead. Dybala, though, dispossessed himself by Singo, and now Pobega with the ball, cleared by Timber. It's all getting a bit messy now. Everyone's giving the ball away. Vignato, though, forward to Dembele. Through ball to Gouveia. Gouveia with a chance. Gouveia, what a shot. Look at the bend on that one. Thiago Gouveia with his 11th goal of the season makes it 5-0, and we are simply sprinting to our second Serie A title in a row. It was all very messy, everyone giving the ball away until Vignato finds Dembele. Beautiful through ball from him to Gouveia. Gouveia, just look at the bend. Look at the bend on that. 5-0, and we've not won the Champions League, which is our aim for this series, but we've conquered Italy for the second time in a row, and we've still got a cup final to come. Nets with a corner, we could get a 6th still. Cristant heads that away. Vignato's going to collect it though. Can he get a ball back into the box? Plays it across to Mattia Viti instead, and he is a bit slow on the ball, but fortunately that falls to Vignato, and now Singo with it, the right back. Lovely ball across to Dembele for the hat-trick. It's off the post and it's cleared off Dembele by Valery and then cleared properly. And Dybala can come away with it for Roma. The chance is still on. It's Thiago Gouveia down this left-hand side. Ball into the box to Dembele once more. Headed away by the defender and then headed further by Pellegrini. And that opportunity is surely done and dusted. Or is it? Gouveia has the ball on the left-hand side again. Can he get another ball in? He plays the cross to Wrench instead. Wrench is in the box now. Wrench with a shot and it's off the bar this time by Wrench and headed away by the defender. We're just piling the pressure on Roma. It's getting embarrassing for them now. We're into the second minute of injury time. A ball is cleared forward by the Roma goalkeeper. Pobega now has it at his feet. And surely this is just a case of us winding the clock down. And this highlight really seems like it's on to nothing. And it was on to nothing. There's the full-time whistle. It's a 5-0 win. We've been crowned champions. We don't yet get the animation of us lifting the league title, it seems. So we'll have to wait a little while for that, I guess. So the supporters are delighted that we achieved the objective laid out in the club's vision by winning the Serie A. So that's a good thing, as are the board. They're delighted too. Luca Netz has been picked out as the player of the match for that match, and I think that is completely fair. 9.3 match rating, involved in every single highlight pretty much, from what I can remember. And then we've got Tomori. We've just won the league title, so what's he bothered about? He's bothered about a new contract, despite the fact that his current one doesn't end until 2 years' time. He's probably going to want 100,000 plus in wages. I mean, to be fair, I should probably give it to him. He is our best centre-back. So we'll get into contract negotiations with him, I guess, at some point. Also, if anyone's interested, we are currently level with the club record of wins in a season with 28. One more win and we break that record. We've got 2 games left to play. We could smash that record and make it 30 wins in a season. We're also only 3 points off breaking the record for our highest points total in a season as well. So hopefully we can do that. We just need another win. So our next game is against Inter in the final of the Coppa Italia. Just looking at how they've done in the past few games so far in the month of May, they've only picked up 1 win. However, that was a 6-1 battering of fellow Champions League chasers Atalanta, losing to Chelsea by 2-1, losing to Lazio by 3-0, and drawing with Chelsea away from home. So Inter in mixed form heading into this one. Hopefully that means that we are going to be able to make it a domestic double for this season. So here we go, it's cup final day. It's the Madonnina derby, Milan against Inter. Hopefully we can go one better than we did last season where we lost at this stage of the competition. So this is the lineup for the cup final. We've got Mike Mignon in goal. Zanoli comes back into the squad for Singo at right back. Kalulu is also back for Viti in central defence alongside Tomori. Teo Hernandez returns to the side at left back in place of Luca Net. Ishmael Benessa remains at defensive midfield, but Divine Wrench misses out for the cup final because he's lacking in conditioning, so Tommaso Pobega comes in for him. Thiago Gouveia is into the side for Rooney Bargi. Would have liked to have got Fofana in, but he's still got a little fitness test icon next to him, so don't want to risk him coming back too soon. And then Charles de Ketelaere, Rafa Leao and Marco Lazetic all remain from the last game. Lautaro Martinez with a through ball. Simeone's through on goal. Is this going to be 1-0 Inter? The keeper's dived and missed the ball, and Giovanni Simeone has got Inter off to the best start after 3 minutes. We're 1-0 down. Is it happening again? Is the Juve result going to repeat itself from last season's Coppa Italia final? Free kick for Inter. DiMarco looking to double their lead. He hits it straight off the wall. Another opportunity. Ball to the box. De Vries there, and it's saved by Mignon in goal. We've not really got a foothold in this game so far, but Teo is going on one of his fantastic runs down this left-hand side now, looking to create something, plays it across, it hits off the defender, and fortunately falls to Leao, who crosses it in. Lazetic is there, and it's 1-1. Marco Lazetic with the header. 21st goal of the season, apparently, and we are back on level terms in this final. That's all it takes. All it takes is one chance. Teo Hernandez running down the left-hand side. Plays a poor ball, which is very fortunately falls to the feet of Rafa Leao. He plays a nice ball in, and Lazetic with the header past the keeper. 1-1. It's Teo Hernandez going on another one of his runs. Plays the ball forward to Lazetic. Through to De Ketelaere and through once more to Gouveia. Gouveia with a chance to take the lead. And Thiago Gouveia does it. His 10th goal of the season. A wonderfully worked goal. Just through ball after through ball. De Ketelaere gets the final assist. And Gouveia with a beautiful finish over the top of the goalkeeper to turn this game completely on its head. It was Teo Hernandez who started things off once again with another one of his runs from left back. Ball forward to Lazetic. Through ball to De Ketelaere. And then through again to Gouveia, who chips that perfectly over the top of the keeper and into the back of the net. 2-1. Barella now for Inter. Forward to Simeone, looking for his second of the game. Simeone's through on goal. Simeone, he's hit the upright. I don't know how he didn't score that. It's Rafa Leao on the halfway line. Lovely ball from him to Charles de Ketelaere. Charles de Ketelaere to put the game beyond doubt. Lazetic. And it's in. Marco Lazetic just manages to get that off the keeper and into the back of the net. His second of the game. And we are going to win the Coppa Italia for the first time since 2003. It looks like, barring some sort of capitulation from us. It was Rafa Leao with a through ball to Charles de Ketelaere. I thought he was going to go alone. Instead, he plays through ball to Lazetic, who, fortunately, it hits off Lazzari and still manages to go into the back of the net and makes it 3-1. We're going to make some changes now. I was a bit scared to make changes with just a 1-goal lead, but with a 2-goal lead, I feel a bit more comfortable. So Benessa is going to come off. We'll bring on Gona Duath for him in defensive midfield. We'll switch him and Pabega around as well. So I think they're more comfortable playing in those roles. De Ketelaere also going to make way. Sami Vignato coming on for him. Rafa Leao coming off. And we'll bring on Diego Sia for him. Bargi is lacking a bit in conditioning, so don't want to risk giving him much time. We'll bring Dembele on as well for a little cameo appearance in place of Lazetic up front. We're well into stoppage time now. Inter on the ball. Surely they can't get 2 goals in the space of a minute and 30 seconds. Teo with a nice interception at the back there. Hopefully you can just get rid of this as Menyon does so and finds Lucas Gona Duath. We could be looking for a 4th goal here. It's Diego Sia with the ball. Great pass from him to Dembele. Flicked on to Gouveia for his second of the game. It's Gouveia, and what a goal that is. Thiago Gouveia with a bit of a scissor kick action there to get our 4th of the game and put the game well beyond any doubt. What a counter-attack from us. What a finish from Gouveia. Great ball from Lucas Gona Duath as well. He picked up the ball here. Plays it forward to Sia. It was a ball from Sia, sorry, not Gona Duath. Dembele with the flick on, and then Gouveia with a scissor kick sort of shot past the keeper. And we are well on course to winning our first Coppa Italia as Milan manager. And there is the full-time whistle. Here is the trophy presentation, which of course we haven't seen yet for Serie A, despite the fact we've won it already. I'm hoping to see that in one of the last 2 league games. But this is the Coppa Italia in the bag. We've now won the Europa League, we've won Serie A twice, and we've won the Coppa Italia. Still missing out on the big one of the Champions League, but it's progress and it's success as well, as it's going to be Mike Mignon to lift the Coppa Italia trophy, and AC Milan are Coppa Italia champions. There's the confirmation that we have in fact completed the domestic double, the Coppa Italia and Serie A in the bag in the same season. The board are delighted that we've managed to win the Coppa Italia. This was an objective which was for next season, but we've obviously done it a season early. So we're here with our penultimate game of the season in the league. The clock's just winding down. It's been very comfortable for us. We're winning 4-0. Regina down to 10 men since the first half. Just waiting for this highlight to end, and maybe I thought we might get the title celebration, but apparently not. But a 4-0 win. Dembele getting a hat-trick. Vignato getting 1 goal. Pretty decent penultimate game of the season. Doesn't look like we've taken our foot off the pedal despite playing a rotated side, and we've got Inter in the final game of the season. So we're coming towards the end of our final game of the season, the Milan derby against Inter. We're actually losing 1-0. It feels like the players have just sort of given up for the season. They're on the holidays already. But yeah, we end the season with a 1-0 defeat at the hands of Inter. I think that's the first time we've lost to them in maybe ever. If not, it's been a long time, at least 4 games since we lost to Inter. So as the season is over, the awards are starting to flood in, and Mike Mignon has picked up the Goalkeeper of the Year award once again. 3rd season in a row that he's managed to do this, and it's completely well deserved. 20 clean sheets this season out of 38 appearances. He only conceded 22 goals all season in Serie A. We've also had 6 players selected in the team of the season for Serie A as well. And for some reason, with the latest update, which has just come out for Football Manager, the team names for some Italian sides have reverted back to what they were before I put the real name fix in. So I'm going to have to fix that. You can see Napoli are named as Parthenope. I think Roma and a few other teams have also changed their names. But Mignon gets into the top 11 or the best team of the season, as do Tomori, Vitti, Hernandez, Pavega and Rafa Leao. And then we have also won the award for the best squad of this season for the 2nd year in a row. So I've been offered another new contract from Milan. I already signed a new 4-year contract on, I think, 29 grand a week. But they've come to me with a new 5-year contract worth £36,000 a week. Not sure why, but we'll take it anyway. So it's end of season review time. Time to look at what we have achieved in this 24-25 season, our third season in charge of AC Milan. And we start, as we always do, with the transfers. Not many transfers in this year, just the 5. So we'll start at the very top. Luca Netz coming in from Borussia Mönchengladbach for 34 million. The board gave it a B+ grade, and he's done pretty well. He started 18 times, come off the bench 17 times. He's got a goal, he's got 8 assists, and an average rating of 7.2. Pretty good start for Luca Netz, who is really our backup option at left back in place of Theo Hernandez. Next, we've got Divine Wrench, the 22-year-old defensive midfielder that we've signed from Ajax for £52 million, our most expensive signing. B- grade is what the board have given it. He played 19 times for us, got a 7.01 average rating, and he's done very well to come in and replace Sandro Tonali alongside Benessa in defensive midfield. Another defensive midfielder now, Lucas Guarna-Duarte, we signed from RB Salzburg for 14.5 million. He's only started 6 times, and he's came 6 times off the bench. He's got an average rating of 7. He's one for the future, despite the fact that he's just a year younger than Divine Wrench, but he looks very decent from what we've seen in him so far. Then we've got Rooney Bargi signed for £10 million from FC Copenhagen. I believe he was on loan at Copenhagen until December time. I might be remembering that wrong, but the board gave it a B- grade at the start. He's started 9 times for us, made 10 sub-appearances, scored 2 goals, average rating of 6.96. He's made a good start to his life here. Hopefully he can get a bit better next season. And then our final signing was Vitor Roque from Atletico Paranaense in Brazil. He again was sent out back on loan to the club we bought him from for £18 million. He's only played 5 times for us, 6 times off the bench, 3 goals, 0 assists, average rating of 6.88. Not too bad again for someone that's not really played that much. We'll go a bit quicker through the transfers out. So we sold Brahim Diaz to Man United for £32 million. He's done all right there, average rating of 7.21, a few goals, few assists. Simon Kjær went to Philadelphia for £500,000. He's played a few times there, good average rating as well. Sandro Tonali to Liverpool for £80 million. Obviously, that was one of our biggest sales, probably our biggest sale, I think, that we did this season. He's gone and played quite a few games for Liverpool, 7.14 average rating. Obviously played against us in the Champions League where they knocked us out. Ante Rebic left to go to Lyon permanently after he had a loan spell last season. He's done all right there as well, playing a big amount of games and getting a pretty good average rating. Malik Thiaw went to Borussia Dortmund for 18.75 million, played a lot, did okay. Ballatore didn't really get much game time in Atalanta. Yassin Adli didn't really get much game time at West Ham either. And then the rest are really youth players. I mean, Daniel Maldini was at one time a wonder kid. He didn't even make a start for Udinese. And then in terms of loans out, so we've got a few youngsters. We've got a lot more youngsters than this out on loan, but these are the only ones that are in the first team, I guess. So Noel Asako and Keeley, he's played very well for FC20 in the Eredivisie, 7.13 average rating. He's another defensive midfielder, so we definitely got enough defensive midfielders for the future. I'm sort of tempted to keep him at the club next season, see if he can break into getting a bit more game time. Chaka Traore was at Fortuna Sittard, who I also think are in the Eredivisie. He did pretty well there as well. 26 starts, 9 off the bench, 5 goals, 7 assists, average rating of 6.91. Again, I think he might be in the squad for next season. Kevin Zaroli, he was on loan at Pisa. He's done all right, not really done too great. Pisa, I believe, are in Serie C, so Kevin Zaroli probably not gonna have him here next season. We'll either try and sell him or loan him out again. Cristoforo Rossi, only 17 years old. He was on loan at Siena. Played a lot of games for them this season in Serie B. 35 times, in fact. 8 goals, 3 assists. Average rating of 6.83. This guy was named in the top 50 next-gen wonder kids alongside a couple of others. I think Rooney Bargi was in there, and maybe one more that I can't remember. Noel Asakun Keeley, he was obviously in there. He was the highest rated of our Milan players. I think he was in the top 10 even. But yeah, Cristoforo Rossi, definitely one for the future. We'll probably try and loan him out again to a Serie B side again next year. Maybe a lower Serie A side. We'll see. In terms of the season's results, obviously we were expected to win Serie A, and we did just that. But looking at the Serie A table, so that the teams that have been relegated, we'll start with our Benevento. It says Salento there, but I'm pretty sure that's Lecce. And Bologna getting relegated on the final day of the season, not having enough to stay up. In the European places, we've got Lazio in the Europa Conference League, Roma and Inter in the Europa League, Atalanta, Napoli, not Parthenope, Juve and ourselves all in the Champions League for next season. The board will have a B- grade for us winning the Serie A. Champions League, the less said about this, the better. An unbeaten league stage of the Champions League where we beat teams such as Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid, but Liverpool came to town in the first knockout round and we failed. We won the second leg 3-1. So I don't know why it's got a little loss thing there, because we did win that, but we had lost 3-0 at Anfield, so didn't come into it in the best of spirits, I guess. Almost managed to take it to extra time, but couldn't do it, and unfortunately got knocked out. Coppa Italia, we obviously went one better than last year. A pretty easy run to the final, I would say, until we faced Inter in the final, but then we made pretty good use of them by beating them 4-1. And then the EA Sports Super Cup, again losing this to Juve. They've been a bit of a bogey team of ours, Juve, I guess, beating us in finals. They beat us in the Super Cup and they beat us in the Coppa Italia last season, but we've had last laugh as we've picked up the domestic double. In terms of moments to remember, our 8-1 smashing of Cagliari in the Coppa Italia was a great game. That was our biggest win, in fact. Our match to remember was our victory over Real Madrid in the Champions League, of course, 3-1 at the Santiago Bernabeu. And then a Goal of the Season award goes to Thiago Gouveia for his strike against AEK Athens. So I can't remember this goal. So we've got Gouveia with the ball on the left-hand side of the pitch. He cuts inside. He's going to have a go from there, isn't he? Oh, yes. Smashes it into the top corner of the goal. That is a worthy winner of the Goal of the Season. In terms of the finances, as you can see there, I'm not going to go through any of this stuff, but shirt sales is what I focus on. Rafa Leao, top shirt sale seller. Teketele Pabega, Rooney Bargi, and Theo Hernandez up there in the top 5 too. In terms of our best 11 for the season, I think looking at it, I've got a few questions. Well, one question, really. Mattia Vitti, what's he doing in there? Pierre Kalulu should be there alongside Fikayo Tomori. I can sort of understand Tommaso Babega being alongside Benesa, but I would have said Divine Wrench would be there. Gouveia at right wing, again, probably should be Datru Fofana. But then Lazetic, Teketele, Leao, everyone else, they all seem to be perfect. And I agree with that. So in terms of awards, we've got last year's Manager of the Year award there. That went to me, but I don't know why it's in last year. I guess it must have happened after the season review for last year. Club awards, we've got Charles de Ketelaere picking up the Fans Player of the Season award and the Young Player of the Season award. Lucas Guanaduath being awarded Signing of the Season. Gouveia, we already know about Goal of the Season. Moussa Dembele, top goal scorer with 24 goals. Rafa Leao, most assists with 14. Charles de Ketelaere picking up the Most Player of the Match awards with 9 and also the highest average rating with 7.6. And then that one that we always care about, the most passes completed per 90 minutes. That award goes to Matteo Gabbia at centre-back with 101 passes completed per 90. In terms of competition awards, we've got the best defensive player with Theo Hernandez. We've got the best midfielder, maybe, with Rafa Leao. Best goalkeeper, Mike Mignon, and another best goalkeeper award for Mike Mignon there. And European Golden Boy was won by Marko Lazetic. In terms of club records, our most assists by a player in a season award has been broken by... record has been broken by Rafa Leao with 14 assists. Mike Mignon breaking the record for most clean sheets by a player in a season with 28. Highest transfer fee paid for Divine Wrench was 52 million, new record, and highest transfer fee received of 80 million for Sandro Tonali is also a new record. And then we've got our dynamic manager timeline. So we'll go to the end of last season, I guess. So I think it starts around here. So one for the future, us signing Luca Netz is obviously on there for 29 million. Again, investing in potential, that's another signing, Lucas Guanaduath. Winning manager of the year for the previous season comes on there for some reason. Record transfer sales, bringing in a record 113 million from transfer fees, selling Sandro Tonali for 80 million, signing Divine Wrench for 52 million, passing 125 million pounds spent on transfers in my time as manager, and raking in 145 million pounds from transfers as well. So it's a pretty good season. We pretty much spent the money that we brought in. We left a bit over as well. I think we had 40 million left in the transfer budget by the end of the January transfer window. So hopefully that gets added to for the summer and we can try and sign Jude Bellingham because he is 21 years old now. This is the last season that I can try and sign him for. I've obviously not tried before because we've never had the amount of money to sign him. I think he's valued at 105 million pounds. But if we can get Jude Bellingham, I would like to do that very much so. I would spend my entire transfer budget on that. He's 21 years old. Our vision obviously says we need to sign players under the age of 22 for the first team. So that's why this is the last time that I can try and sign him, unless I want to make the board slightly unhappy. Also on the dynamic timeline, we've got the fact we won Serie A, we won Coppa Italia, and Mike Mignon picking up Golden Goalie, or the best goalkeeper of the year award for Serie A. In terms of our supporter profile, I do quite like this. So we've seen a drop in the number of family supporters, but an increase in the number of fair weather supporters, which isn't great. Ideally, we want the hardcore and core supporters to go up. So that means maybe a lot of the younger members of the families that have been attending have got a bit older and aren't as interested in coming to support us anymore. So the board have come to us with our club vision and expectations for the coming season. The actionable objectives and the informational objectives all remaining the same. There doesn't seem to be signing players under the age of 22, which is interesting. Would that be here? I'm pretty sure that would be here. Yeah, that would be here. So they've changed their board culture. I don't have to sign players under the age of 22 anymore. We can sign anyone. I can try and sign Bellingham for the next 10 years. That's fine. Brilliant. So our board culture now is going to be to strive to make progress on and off the pitch, which is a very vague objective, really, Mr. Gazidis. But I'll take it. Actionable objectives and informational objectives not changing at all. We've got the end of next season has sort of disappeared now. There was stuff there previously. I'm pretty sure it said to make the latter stages of the Champions League and to win Serie A, but I mustn't be able to change that, I guess. I'll just confirm it. Yeah, there it is. Reach the latter stages of the Champions League, win Serie A next season. Obviously, we want to try and win the Champions League to complete our objective for this save, but we'll see what we can do. I realise I've never really shown you squad dynamics that much, so this is the squad dynamics. We've got 3 team leaders in Hernandez, Oteo, Mignon and Benesa, 3 players that have been with us probably the longest out of the majority of players. Quite a few highly influential players who can jump up to that team leader role if needed, if we do end up selling any of our team leaders, and then quite a few influential players too. So looking ahead to next season, and I'm quite happy with the players that we've got. I'll obviously look in the transfer market for anyone that could make an improvement on our players, but there's no one that's really standing out apart from Jude Bellingham, who obviously I'm probably not going to be able to sign, but would like to. In goal is a bit of an issue in terms of our backup. Andreas Ljungdahl, who's been our backup keeper for a good couple of seasons, he's actually moving on to, I can't remember where he's moving to. Where are you going? Brøndby. He's going back to Denmark, back to his native land at the end of his contract, I believe. Yes, his contract's up at the end of the season. He's moving to Brøndby. That transfer's already been agreed. So we are going to have a different backup goalkeeper. I mean, we've not really had to use him very much. How many games has he played for us since we took over in 2022? He played 4 times in the 22-23 season, conceding 3 at an average rating of 6.93. So did okay, but he was never really going to displace Mike Mignon in goal. So Faris Yusufu, who is a player that I actually signed from... Where did I sign him from? From Schalke a couple of seasons ago. He's been out on loan at Crotone in Serie C. He's been at 68 München this year, back in Germany. He's done okay as well. He's in the German under-20s side, I think. Under-21 side. So he's a decent backup. I might try and play him in the Cup, actually, thinking about it, just to give him a bit of game time. I'm struggling to find anywhere we need to strengthen. Marko Lazetic has been a surprise standout up front this season. I thought Dembele was going to be our number 1 choice, but Lazetic has sort of made that place his own. It's 21 starts in the league. I don't know why I went straight for that. But overall in the season, including for his national team, which is Serbia? Yeah, Serbia. He's started 27 games, 11 sub-appearances. He's scored 22 goals, 3 assists, 3 Player of the Match awards, average rating of 7.13. He's only 21. He's only going to keep on getting better. So you can see why he won the European Golden Boy Award, and I'm hopeful that he's going to do just as well, if not better, next season. So looking ahead to the next episode, we will be back with any transfer dealings that we do in the summer, and also it'll be our first 2 Champions League stage matches for the 25-26 season, as we hope to push on and at least get through to the latter stages of the Champions League and hopefully try and get that Champions League victory that we so desperately want. But that is it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel to get all my content when it comes out. Hit the notification bell to stay notified. and I'll see you next time.